What's up guys, Erroneous here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today's video I want to go over where I'm at currently in the ARMANZ fusion. So let's get into it. Alright y'all, so I want to go over where I'm at currently in the ARMANZ fusion, just to give you a heads up what you should be looking forward to over the next few days, because we still have it going on. I think we're a little bit over halfway through with it at this point. Now I also did make a mistake that I will mention in a second, but we have the Prism Summon going on right now. We have a summon pool for this new faction guardian type chick, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, she's decent. I mean, 50% chance to increase the cooldown of a random target skill by 2 turns, not bad. When counterattacking with a skill, teams up with a random ally. The ally joining the attack will lose their default skill, pretty cool. Block debuff, block damage, counterattack on a target ally for 2 turns. If the target is of this skill is not this champion, resets the cooldown of all the target's skill, which is pretty insane. It's kind of like a White Dryad Nia ability, but for a legendary, and this skill's cooldown cannot be decreased. So that's pretty cool. That is actually, actually that's not cool. That part of it is not cool, right? Because you actually want to be able to decrease the cooldown on this skill. So it does actually hurt her a little bit, whereas White Dryad Nia, I don't think her skill has like that sort of information where it doesn't decrease. Let's take a look real quick. Similar ability, removes all debuffs from a target, heals them. Okay, that's not it. If the target of this skill is not this champion, decreases the cooldown on all the target skill by 2 turns. Okay, so it's by 2 turns, which I think this chick was, what? Entirely? Completely resets? So it is a lot better. But, yeah, you can't decrease it, though. That would be kind of cool, though. So it does say, if the target resets the cooldown of the target skills. Yeah. I mean, all of the target skills. So actually, that is pretty sick. I'm kind of like, I'm half and half in the bag. It is a strong ability, but I was just thinking like if she could continuously reset like a Yumeko with a Kaimar. Clearly she can't. They keep doing that. This is a faction unity champion, so I'm not sure why they didn't allow it, and they're very hard to come by, so interesting. Places increased attack, 30% increased crit rate, 30% increased crit damage on all allies for 2 turns. If you have a faction ally, which is an high elf, grants an extra turn after this ability is used. You have 2 faction allies. Before placing buffs, removes all debuffs as well. 3 faction allies, places buffs placed by this skill cannot be removed, which is insane, right? So you would obviously want her in Stone Skin, preferably, and pretty fast as well, with some damage dealers, maybe 1 or 2 damage dealers and another support potentially to help her out, maybe with a Arbiter to speed up and then use this ability for her. And then a couple others as well. But high elves, now that I think about it, they don't have like crazy damage dealers, do they? I guess Lanatharl's decent. Not crazy though. I do like Lanatharl a lot. And I used to utilize him as a damage dealer in Arena or in Live Arena. Roanus is definitely a damage dealer, that's for sure. And then you could potentially use, Alexander, I've never actually built him to 60 and not used him. Supreme Elhain actually would be a good choice. So she's very strong. I like her a lot. I utilize her here and there. Not a ton in Live Arena, but just because her gear is not super fast. So yeah, Ethos would also be really good if you have him for a Void Legendary, very hard to come by, but would be super strong with that champion. And also Royal Huntsman would be pretty decent too, with the decreased defense, but in Live Arena, would it work very well? Not really. Maybe in tag team it would work a lot better. So yeah, so there's that summon pool. I did end up summoning 3. The reason being is because I ended up having 30 of the Prism crystals already saved from previous events and tournaments. And then from here, Sand Devil Turn Attack, I did complete this in its entirety. So it wasn't too bad for me. 3,900 points. Once I got it, I was like, all right, I'm done. I got my 40 points there. So now I've got 70. That's already 2. And then I think it was from Artifact Enhancement as well. Another 20. So I had 90 total. And I was able to do 3 summons. And I got diddly squat. I didn't get anything other than 3 epics in a row. And it wasn't even the epic that I wanted. It was not this guy right here. Neldor Rhymeblade. This is who I wanted. And who I got was Ambassador Lethlin, I got, who else did I get? Squiramus. And I got Jingle Hunter. Where's he at? Right here. Those are the 3 that I got for epics. I still yet to summon a legendary from the Prism pool. Stinks, but it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. I would have loved to have gotten this chick right here. I definitely would have utilized her somewhere. I would have squeezed her in somewhere, and she definitely would be great for Cursed City, for the High Elves faction. Just in general, she would be a monster in the High Elves faction, right? Because you're going to have all High Elves with her. So either way, it is what it is. Then moving on to tournaments here. Fire Night, that is going on. We still have 2 days and 9 hours at the time of this recording. And I'm at 1330 for points. Of course, I'm going to definitely go for the 25 fragments. But I think I'm also going to push for the chicken as well. You know, a 4-star chicken is definitely worth it in my opinion. Then we got Champ Chase, which is starting tomorrow, which is Friday, 5 hours, right? So it's going to be like 3 a.m. EST where I'm at, or 4 a.m. Whereas in other areas of the world, it might be a little bit later, or it might be even earlier. So yeah, Ice Golem I did complete. Ice Golem is all set. I completed this entirely. I got 60 gems from here as well, which helped me for more farming, especially for like Spider's Den. And then Classic Arena Takedown. Everybody should be able to do Classic Arena Takedown with no problem. I did get 6th place. I got 125 energy from here as well, which does help towards the fusion. And then moving on to the events. Currently we have Champ Training, which just started today. I'm at 2,200 points. I will be focusing on this a little bit heavily over the next day and a half. And then I'll go back to Fire Night to finish off Fire Night because we have 2 days in Fire Night. And then here, Immortal Soul Coins are very, very strong. The gems are great. 50 gems, that's an energy refill. That's how I see that. We've got an Ancient Shard, which is nice. And then I'm just going to go probably just to the fragments. If I can do it, I'll try to push the Primal. But you got to be careful with conserving your resources. The Primal is very strong. But then again, it takes a lot of primals just to summon a mythical champion. So do keep that in mind. So yeah, so there's that. Events for Dungeon Divers. I am crushing it this time. The reason why is because I actually missed 25 fragments on the first Dungeon Divers. Sadly, I fell asleep. I literally had 50 points left. For some reason, I was running the auto battles on my phone and it just stopped. It must have crashed. Something happened. And when I woke up in the morning, it had that error, or it just like kept on trying to load. It was like stuck in a loading screen or something. And unfortunately, I didn't get the additional 50 points that I needed for the first 25 points. So I'm probably going to try to opt to run it on my computer because my computer doesn't typically have that issue as often as my phone does. It just happens randomly. I don't know why. It's more so happened recently, but it's not that bad. It just will happen from time to time on my phone. Let me know in the comments down below if that happens to you as well. It's kind of frustrating. So we're already almost done with the Dungeon Divers. We still have a day and 6 hours left, which is plenty of time. No big deal at all. We're going to crush this one. We're going to try to go for the Chaos Dust minimum. And if we can't, we can't. Artifact Enhancement. I did complete this one like I showed you already. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. And then in terms of shards going into the champion chase for this weekend, I do have 56 voids because it's a 2x void weekend. So I'm probably going to pull voids. Ancient shards, 71, which is not bad. Primals, 8. Sacreds, 5. So that's not too bad. I also did get 1 remnant shard, which I can pull. Maybe I might pull this during the Heroes Path event. And I may consider pulling all my ancients, all my primals, all my sacreds during the Heroes Path event as well. Or just enough so I can get the 25 fragments that I missed from the first Dungeon Divers event. So if you were planning ahead and trying to save and conserve resources, which is like shards like this, then you should be good to go for the Heroes Path if you just need 25 fragments. However, we don't know for sure how they're going to space out or combine the fragments in Heroes Path. They could end up putting 25 fragments in the beginning and then 25 fragments later on in the path, or they could end up putting all 50 fragments further down, which makes it way harder for you and requires you to spend a lot or all of your resources for these shards. So just keep in mind, Don't go too crazy on voids if you have majority voids on your account, because I feel like voids are going to be a good amount of points for pulling during the hero's path. So maybe pull 20 or 30. That's what I recommend. And then stop there and wait for hero's path, and you'll be good to go, hopefully, in hero's path if you're missing out on 25 or 50 fragments. So yeah, I just have a weird feeling that they're going to go 50 fragments towards the end. You also need to make sure you have mortal soulstones, immortal soulstones, and eternals. The immortals and eternals are way better for hero's path. You get way more points. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 1,500 points or 2,500 points for an eternal soulstone pull. And then immortals are 1,000 or 1,500. Immortals were, I believe last time, they were 100 each. So if you have a ton of saved mortal soulstones like I do here, maybe you're saving them up because you forgot to do the previous mortal soulstone event or immortal soulstone event where you can get 2x chance to get legendaries and to get higher rarities, stuff like that. I personally skipped out on it because I knew that they were going to do a hero's path. I just felt it in my bones that we're going to do a hero's path during the ARMANZ fusion. So I should be good to go. But then again, you never know. It could be absolutely absurd how crazy the hero's path is. I hope they add a 5-star or 4-star blessing for ARMANZ in the hero's path, or maybe they'll add a new champion, which could be the new Sylvan Watcher potentially. Some people have said that it could be this guy, Padraig. He actually looks pretty sick. Really cool sickle here. Really cool staff. I mean, yeah, this guy's sick. He also has an ally attack, which is insane. Fills turn meters. This guy's going to be a PvE monster, especially for dungeons, especially for the Fire Knight, for the hard mode Fire Knight. This is insane as well. So yeah, this guy's going to be nuts. I would love to have that guy on my account if I can get him. So anyways, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys have a great day, great evening, and I will see you on a video soon. Take care.